Hey everybody, thanks for watching the videos. I hadn't planned actually of doing much on my home system, but we see all the great stuff that we have in the store at Suncoast Audio, and I figured, well, maybe somebody is interested in what I actually have at home. My employees have simpler systems, shall we say, but they're definitely analog lovers like myself. So there's been a lot of interest in the reel to reel. So I'll talk a little bit about this. This is a Studer 810. It's probably from the late 70s, early 80s, I want to say. And when I got it, it was in pretty rough shape. The caps were all leaking and it was, barely playable. So I sent it up to John French in New Jersey. And I'm not sure John is doing rebuilds anymore, but John is the gentleman who created the flux heads. And these are flux heads that he installed, but he took this machine and took about 9 months, I want to say, to completely rebuild it with original parts and put all new caps in it. I mean, everything was brought up to modern spec, if you will. And then I had him obviously install the flux heads. And then I had them add this switch here, which is, it allows me to use the internal, so the I is for internal, the internal electronics, so essentially the preamp section internally of the reel-to-reel, or to switch it to external and use the Doshi tape preamp, which is a tube phono stage I have down here. And Nick Doshi builds the best tube phono stages I've ever heard. Sorry, tube tape stages, not phono stages, tape stages. So this is a like a phono stage, but it is specifically designed for tape reel-to-reel decks. And in here, you can actually remove this panel. I'll just show you here real quickly, but you can actually remove these set screws, and behind here you can do an EQ. So you have full EQ adjustability in here. Let me just put that in there. So in here you can adjust all of the high frequencies, the low frequencies, and use the meters obviously to dial it in. Why would you want to do that? Well, some tapes that you buy are going to have different EQs. So one of the things that you want to do is match the EQ that was used when the tape was being made. And they vary from, the Tape Project or, Acoustic Sounds, Analog Productions. They make some wonderful reel-to-reel tapes that you can purchase. And there's other vendors as well. There's some European ones where I buy tapes from. This Studer 810 is actually sitting in a cabinet that is made by a company in Latvia, if you can believe. It does come with a head unit, and you can either engage the head unit here, up here, or you can just not. And I've tried it both ways. I kind of prefer it out of the chain. I think it sounds better, not using the head unit. It looks cool, but yeah, no, it doesn't really help the sound in any great way. So also down here, hiding down here is my Nordost Q Core grounding station. So on this side of the system, all the devices are grounded using the Q Core. Yes, I do believe it works, and yes, I do like it. I think it works very, very well. And then above it is the Avid power supply for the Avid turntable. So the Studer is really a lot of fun. You've got to understand what you're doing when it comes to reel-to-reel maintenance. You've got to understand how to properly demagnetize, the deck. You have to understand how to clean the heads properly. There's a lot that goes into it for care and feeding and maintenance. And for people that think that turntables and vinyl is high maintenance, then you really shouldn't get into reel to reel. But if it's something that you want to hear obviously the closest to the source, or one of the closest to the source, I think the reel to reel can really perform very, very well. I do have other reel to reel decks. I have another 810 as well. And from a prosumer standpoint, they are one of the best, if not the best, of that generation. If you're going to get into the recording side of things, then an 820 or an 80 or an 800 might be better. But if you're just simply doing playback, which I am, I haven't really done a lot of recording. The 810 is going to be every bit as good as some of the other machines that are out there on the market. So I hope you enjoyed that. That's a bit of a summary of the Studer 810 and the Doshi tape stage and its separate power supply. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.